September 2001. While the world is still processing what just happened, something far more dangerous unfolds quietly inside the CIA. Everyone knows who planned the attacks. That part is obvious. The problem is that the man responsible has vanished completely. No calls, no messages, no electronic trace. Osama bin Laden disappears the moment the planes hit, not in panic, but with intention. He understands a brutal truth. The moment you speak, you can be found. So he stops speaking. The CIA reacts fast, faster than ever before. Satellites are redirected. Listening stations come online. Allies are activated. Every tool designed to catch a signal is switched on at once, and nothing comes back. No voices, no transmissions, no digital noise. It feels wrong, not like a failure, like an absence. Analysts realize they are not hunting a man. They are hunting silence. Within weeks, US forces push al-Qaeda fighters east into the mountains of Afghanistan. Intelligence points to Tora Bora, cave complexes, narrow passes, perfect hiding places. Bombs fall. Afghan forces advance with American support. For a brief moment, it feels like the end is near. Then the fighting stops. The caves are empty. Bin Laden is gone. Only a few prisoners are captured. The opportunity slips away, and no one inside the agency realizes yet that it may never come back. One of those prisoners barely registers at first. A quiet Saudi national named Mohammed al-Qahtani. He claims he was in Afghanistan for falconry. It sounds ridiculous, but not enough to matter. That changes when his fingerprints are checked. They match a record from weeks before the attacks. Al-Qahtani tried to enter the United States through Orlando Airport. One-way ticket, cash, no clear reason for travel. A customs officer denies him entry. Routine decision, no alarms. That single moment quietly removes one man from history. Years later, investigators connect the dots. On the same day, al-Qahtani was stopped. A phone call was placed from Orlando Airport to a number already monitored for al-Qaeda ties. FBI agents dig through airport footage frame by frame. They find a rental car waiting outside. It was rented by Mohammed Atta, the man who would fly Flight 11 into the North Tower. The conclusion is terrifying. Al-Qahtani was meant to be part of the attack, a hijacker who never boarded. As interrogations continue, a pattern emerges. Bin Laden never communicates directly, ever. No phones, no radios, no electronics. Orders move by hand, carried by men whose job is to walk into danger and never be remembered. Couriers, people who exist only to move words. Then, in early 2004, everything shifts. A man named Hassan Ghul is captured carrying a letter addressed to bin Laden himself. During questioning, he mentions someone investigators have heard whispered before. A courier, trusted, protected, known only by an alias, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. The name spreads through intelligence reports like a spark. Some detainees say he's important. Others insist he's irrelevant, retired, inactive. Senior figures all downplay him. The contradictions make one thing clear. This man matters, because if bin Laden is silent, then someone else is speaking for him. And whoever that person is, he's the only path left. The CIA makes a quiet decision. They stop chasing bin Laden entirely. They will hunt the man who walks to him. And once they do, everything becomes irreversible. For the CIA, capturing a courier sounds simple on paper. In reality, it's a nightmare. Couriers don't plan attacks. They don't pull triggers. They don't give orders. They walk. They listen. And if they're good, they leave nothing behind. That's exactly why Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti becomes dangerous the moment his name surfaces. Because suddenly, everyone who mentions him lies in the same way. Interrogations intensify. Detainees are questioned separately, months apart, sometimes years. Different locations, different interrogators, different pressures, and yet the answers line up too neatly. Some claim al-Kuwaiti once mattered but doesn't anymore. Others say he retired. A few insist he was never important at all. Senior figures repeat the same story, almost word for word. To an intelligence analyst, that's not coincidence. That's coordination. When Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is captured, expectations are high. He designed the September 11th attacks. If anyone knows where bin Laden is, it's him. But when the courier's name comes up, Mohammed shrugs it off. says the man is irrelevant, says he hasn't been active for years. The response feels rehearsed, almost protective. The CIA notes it carefully. Then another senior figure is arrested. Same question, same answer. Al-Kuwaiti doesn't matter, he's nothing. The repetition only sharpens the focus. Inside the agency, analysts begin circling the name in red. If Al-Kuwaiti truly didn't matter, no one would bother lying about him. At the same time, a different kind of pressure builds. Years have passed since September 11th. Wars have expanded. Resources are stretched. Bin Laden has become a symbol as much as a target. Some inside the intelligence community quietly believe he's already dead. Others fear he's hiding somewhere no one will ever reach. The courier lead feels thin, risky, easy to dismiss, but it's the only thread left. Then quietly, help arrives from the outside. A foreign intelligence service passes along information without explanation. No press, no credit, just a name, a real one. Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti is not Kuwaiti at all. He's Pakistani. His family once lived in Kuwait, which gave him the alias. But now, for the first time, the courier exists beyond rumor. The CIA locks onto the identity immediately. They build a profile from fragments, family connections, tribal ties, old movements. There's still no location, no phone number, no digital footprint. But something has changed. The ghost now has a body. Analysts shift tactics. Instead of asking where Bin Laden is, they ask a different question. How does a man like this live without being seen? He must move. He must meet people. He must resupply. Even the most disciplined courier cannot remain frozen forever. Years pass with agonizing slowness. Then, suddenly, technology catches up. The courier makes a mistake so small he doesn't even notice. A phone is switched on briefly. A battery is inserted. A call is placed and then cut short. To him, it means nothing. To the intelligence world, it's a flare in the dark. Signals analysts take over. Patterns emerge. The phone appears only in certain areas. Always briefly, always cautious, but consistent enough to map. The CIA doesn't rush. They don't move. They watch. Because they know this now isn't about speed, it's about patience. And somewhere ahead, at the end of this quiet trail, there is either nothing at all, or the man they've been chasing for nearly a decade. And if they're wrong, they won't get another chance. Once the courier's phone begins to appear on the map, the rules change instantly. This is no longer theory. This is movement. Analysts watch the data light up in short, cautious bursts. The phone turns on. A call connects. Then it goes dark again. Always brief, always careful, but never random. Each signal clusters around the same region in northern Pakistan. The pattern is subtle, but it's there, and patterns are how ghosts get caught. The CIA slows everything down. No arrests, no alerts, no pressure. The goal now is simple: stay invisible. If the courier senses he's being watched, he disappears forever. So they wait. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. The phone appears again, always in the same general area, Peshawar. And then, one day, it doesn't vanish right away. A local asset spots him in traffic. Just a man in a car. Nothing remarkable. No guards, no convoy. Exactly what you'd expect from someone who doesn't want attention. The asset follows at a distance, passing the handoff to another team when the route changes. No radios, no mistakes. The courier drives calmly, unaware that every turn is being memorized. He leaves the city. The road stretches north. Fewer cars, fewer exits. Then he turns into a residential area. Not a camp, not a hideout. A quiet town. Abbottabad. The kind of place where nothing important is supposed to happen. The courier slows and turns through a gate. What the team sees next doesn't make sense. The house is massive. High walls, barbed wire, no phone lines, no internet, no visible security cameras. Trash is burned instead of collected. Balconies are screened to block sightlines. No one goes in. No one comes out. And yet, people clearly live there. Analysts stare at the images in disbelief. This is not how couriers live. This is not how fugitives hide. The compound is too large, too careful, too permanent. Someone important is inside. Surveillance ramps up quietly. Cameras, satellite passes, long-range observation. The CIA watches for weeks. No vehicles leave, no visitors arrive. Children appear briefly, then vanish. An older man walks in the courtyard, but never shows his face clearly. He stays in the shadows, pacing, never stepping outside the walls. There are no phones, no signals, no electronic emissions of any kind. It's perfect, too perfect. Inside the agency, debate erupts. Some analysts are convinced this has to be bin Laden. Others push back hard. Abbottabad is a military town. Pakistani officers live nearby. Hiding the most wanted man on earth here feels insane, reckless, impossible. If they're wrong, the consequences won't just be political, they'll be lethal. Pressure builds in Washington. Briefings grow tense. Slides are redrawn. Percentages are argued over. Is it him? Is it a decoy? Is it nothing at all? No one can say with certainty. There is no photo, no intercept, no proof that would hold up in a courtroom. Just behavior, discipline, silence, and the courier. He enters the compound regularly. He never leaves it for long. Everything in the house revolves around his movements. If he's there, whoever he's protecting is there too. The CIA realizes something chilling. They may already be at the end of the trail. Now comes the hardest part. Do nothing and risk losing him forever, or act and risk detonating an international crisis if they're wrong. The compound sits there, unchanged, as weeks pass. No mistakes, no slips, no confirmation, just a house that should not exist, and a decision that will force someone to cross a line they can't uncross. Because if that man is inside, this is the last chance they will ever get. And if he isn't, the fallout will be catastrophic. The hunt is over. Now comes the gamble. By early 2011, the house in Abbottabad has become the most dangerous address on Earth. For months, the CIA watches it without blinking. Every movement is logged, every shadow analyzed. And still, there is no final proof. No photograph of bin Laden's face, no intercepted voice, just behavior, discipline, silence. The kind of silence that only one man in the world has mastered. Inside Washington, the pressure becomes unbearable. The intelligence community is split. Some analysts are convinced the target is inside. Others warn that the confidence is built on absence, not evidence. If they are wrong, the consequences will ripple far beyond intelligence failures. Abbottabad sits near a Pakistani military academy. A raid here, without Pakistan's knowledge, would be an act of extreme risk, but waiting longer carries its own danger. If the courier senses surveillance, the house will go dark overnight, and the trail will vanish forever. The decision lands on the president's desk. No one pretends this is clean. There is no certainty, no safety net, only options that all end badly if misjudged. Eventually, one choice remains. If they want answers, they will have to go inside. Planning begins in total secrecy. A small team is selected, Navy SEALs from a unit that doesn't officially exist. The plan avoids bombs, avoids airstrikes, avoids anything that could destroy evidence. This is not about killing a symbol. This is about confirmation, identity, finality. On the night of May 1st, 2011, two modified Black Hawk helicopters lift off from Afghanistan and cross into Pakistani airspace under the cover of darkness. No warning is given, no permission asked. If something goes wrong, there will be no backup explanation. As the helicopters descend into Abbottabad, the mission immediately starts to unravel. One aircraft loses lift in the compound's courtyard and crashes hard. Not destroyed, but disabled. The noise breaks the night. Dogs bark, lights flicker on. The element of surprise fractures. There is no abort. The SEALs move fast. They breach the compound and push inward, clearing rooms, climbing stairs, advancing toward the top floor. Inside, confusion explodes. Shouts, movement, gunfire in tight spaces. Seconds stretch. Then they reach the upper level. A man steps into view, older than expected, taller than anticipated. His beard is grey, his face unmistakable. Osama bin Laden. There is no dramatic speech, no resistance. The moment lasts seconds. The shots are fired. The most wanted man in the world collapses on the floor of a house that was never meant to exist. DNA samples are taken, photos captured, confirmation is immediate. The mission pivots to extraction. The team gathers intelligence materials, hard drives, documents, anything that might explain how he survived for so long. The crashed helicopter is destroyed to prevent technology capture. Minutes later, the second helicopter lifts off, carrying the body and the truth the world has waited nearly 10 years to hear. As the aircraft disappears into the night, the hunt ends the same way it began, quietly. Hours later, the announcement reaches the public. Bin Laden is dead. Cheers erupt. Flags wave. Closure is claimed. But inside the intelligence world, there is no celebration, only exhaustion. Because they know the truth. This wasn't the story of a man found by force. It was the story of patience, of silence, of following one ordinary man, step by step, until he unknowingly led them to the center of everything. The courier vanished soon after. The house was demolished. And the greatest manhunt in modern history ended not with a battle, but with a door quietly opened in the dark. There would be no second chance. And this time, they didn't miss.